record on this computer. So we are now recording. Okay. I don't know. I know Amy and Corrine were going to try to stop by for a little bit right in the beginning, but then had work or had to go to something at 9:30. So that's why we're recording this, is so that and people who aren't able to be with us right now will be able to just take a look at this, and I'll upload it to YouTube so people can take a look at that. So did you have any questions in particular, Lauren, or should we just go through step by step?
Let's just go through.
Okay. So I think the most important thing is kind of the preamble, which is you need to be able to follow all the steps. That's like number one, is you need to be able to tell people who don't want to wear a mask that they have to. I don't think we're going to have that much problems with that. Keeping an eye on the seating in the church to make sure only related people are seated right next to each other, that kind of thing. I am, Jack and I yesterday went to the hardware store and just got wood 6 feet long for each pew. So people, unrelated people sitting in the pew can see how many people they can fit. Like if you had two at one end and one at the other, it's a 6-foot piece of wood that they can then see, okay, we can fit one more person in here because we're still 6 feet apart, kind of a thing. So that's new. So we'll see how that works as far as seating is concerned. So the first thing is when an usher arrives, I should put in here that they probably should arrive 30 minutes. Is that what we thought?
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. So you first go into the sacristy and the temperature thing will be there. I'll probably be in there too, so I can help you figure out how to take your temperature with it. Once everybody knows how to use it, then we'll be fine.
Can you change that first line to say, take your temperature in the sacristy?
Take temperature of each other.
Well, I've been shooting myself. I've been practicing, and you keep it about, was that 2 or 3 inches away from the forehead, right in the middle of the forehead, and you just pull a little trigger, and then it flashes what the temperature is on there. Anything 99 or older, over, you'd have to go home.
99 or over?
Yeah.
No, it's 100. 100.4 is when you have a fever.
Well, it's 99 or over is the regulation, is the state guidance is 99 or over. I mean, you shouldn't have, if you've got 99, because there's a variable in taking the temperature. I mean, if it's 99, it's probably going to read under rather than over. So if it's 99, it may be over 99 actually. But 99 is what they're recommending.
I have never heard anything but 100, but you've got the document, so we'll go with that.
So you must go home. Let me know.
That's only 4/10 of a degree above normal.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we could make it 100. I mean, it's just that's 99 was what? About 99.9.
I think from a medical standpoint, when you get to 100, you're considered to have a fever.
Unless you have
That's
a lower
30.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they may have said 99 because they want to catch even the most mild fever.
Yeah, the low fever. And for people like me, my normal body temperature is 97.6. So if I had 99, that's the same
90
equivalent of a
No, it's
fever.
98. It's 98.6.
But my personal
Oh,
regular
okay.
body temperature is 97.6.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's so 2 degrees more, and I'm 99, but I'm not 100. So anyway, that's why I'm always thinking about 99 rather than 100. Once you get here, you check to make sure, number 2, check to make sure you know where the gloves, clipboard, pen, bulletins, hand sanitizer, and masks are. They will all be on a, the extras will all be on a table in the corner. But this
Of the corner of the sacristy?
of the narthex,
Okay.
okay? Actually, I think that most of the stuff is on a cart. So the cart will be in the corner. So once you know where all that stuff is, in greeting, and then you go and you prop open the red doors, the glass doors, and the sanctuary doors, unless it's, pouring rain or something. So the doors are propped open so people don't have to touch them. And then you point out to people arriving that there are green X's on the floor that are 6 feet apart, and that's kind of how you figure out your spacing going into the church. As people arrive, they need to wear masks, so we have masks to hand out if they don't have one with them. We're going to ask that, I don't have this in here, but we're going to ask that people, it's on the other part of the sheet, sanitize their hands, pick up a bulletin, and go in spacing as they go into the church. If anybody has any questions about spacing, there's going to be 2 people there. So one person can help them figure out where they're going to sit if they are concerned about where to sit and how the spacing is, while the other one is still at the door.
So this doesn't say exactly where the ushers should be positioned. Are we thinking one will be in the narthex and one in the sanctuary, or all?
Yeah, because they're going to be, well, yes, the one with the clipboard should be in the sanctuary, because as people come in, they could come in from either way. They can check, and what it is, it's just a list of names and with little, under the date, boxes that you just check off the box as you see people come in.
Got it.
Let's see. So I will add that too. So when you come in, you're checking off. The person with the clipboard in the church, that reminds me, I should do this. Go higher. One of the ushers, okay, that's down here. Number 6. One of the ushers will have a clipboard with the listing of the parishioners and record attendance of people file into the church. Space will be available on the attendance document to record visitors who you can get minimal contact information, at least a phone number or an email address for somebody that we don't know that just happened to be visiting that day. If they worry about the information, you can let them know it's just for contact tracing, and that they'll be, you put the attendance document, it have to be on the clipboard, but you can put it in the sanctuary at the end of the service. So it's only in there.
What do they do with this attendance list at the end of the service?
Keep it, well, see, right now it's got the dates across the front. So you're checking down for each date. So it's not a one-use thing, because otherwise we would have had like 8 pages, both sides every week.
So it just stays on the table.
So it just, well, it can either stay on the table or it can be put in the sanctuary to keep the information more private. That's what I was going to say. So after the attendance at the end of the service, the clipboard should be put into the sacristy. So just give me a second, and I am going to add a number 14. I mean, a 13. Clipboard to be placed in the sacristy. Okay.
Which is where it will be found next week. For the people that are the ushers next week, we'll find that in the sacristy, not on the table with the gloves, etc.
It might be just because I'm in and out, and so I might just set everything up ahead of time for them just to check through when they get there. So okay. It'll either, if it's not out, it's in the sacristy, but I'll probably be moving it around.
Okay.
So there'll be a basket with the bulletin in it for them to pick up by themselves, you know, so that will be on the table with the hand sanitizer as they walk in. So they sanitize their hand, they pick up a bulletin, they walk into the church. So the usher is not handing out the bulletin. The usher in the narthex is making sure people have masks and answering any questions they might have about what's going to happen next in the church. The bulletins on the inside cover of all the bulletins have all the protocols that I'm going to read out loud at the beginning of the service too. So if people have any other questions, you can refer them to the inside of the bulletin so they can remind themselves what the protocols are. It might be necessary to direct individuals and family groups to move from seat to seat to kind of get the separation. Like, again, because of these wooden boards, we'll see how this works. You know, people can kind of figure it out themselves too, but if you're asked to help, that might be it.
Have we tested that television in the Canterbury room?
I was working on it yesterday. I've got a second laptop that is not good for anything except maybe that. So that's what I'm going to do today, is hook my other laptop up to the computer so it will work. All they'll have to do is to go on to Facebook in order to watch the service, Facebook Live.
That might be a challenge for some people.
Well, that's Jack and I are going to go through that today. I'm not sure he'll be able to get it set up if we have overflow.
Yeah, we ought to have a step-by-step procedure with that laptop so people can navigate it.
Okay, so I will do an overflow.
I don't think that's gonna...
I'm going to leave that blank right now, so I'll fill it in once I figure out what the steps are. Okay.
I don't think that's going to be the problem.
I don't think it's going to be a problem either, but that's part of going through this stuff, is just seeing all the contingencies.
It's not going to be a problem in the next few weeks. Maybe eventually we'll get to the point where we need that.
Right. So at the opening of the service, I'll be reading those protocols that are inside the bulletin and letting everybody know. And then the ushers are in charge of making sure people keep their masks on over their noses, and that when people are moving around for the Eucharist, that they're sanitizing their hands and following the green X's, keeping themselves spaced as they come up for communion. So 10, traffic flow. For communion, the ushers will direct worshipers, maintaining proper distancing, to the celebrant in front of the altar where they'll receive communion in one kind. Worshipers will return to their pews via the side aisles and take the communion at their seats when they return to their seats. At the close of the service, 11, gloved ushers will release worshipers one pew at a time to ensure appropriate distancing. A recycling bin is available at the back of the church for people to dump their own bulletins that they've used. Social gatherings, that's just going to be, I mean, I don't think the ushers have to like go out to the parking lot and make sure people aren't talking. We're just going to have that as one of the things that I read out loud. Once they're out of the building, we're okay. It's not our responsibility anymore. And then at that time, the gloved ushers will collect any paper bags that might have tissues in them, and any bulletins that might not have been taken out, and put them in the trash cans or the recycling bin.
So the ushers won't need gloves before the dismissal.
That's correct, because they're not going to be touching anything until the dismissal.
Okay.
So that's why I put gloved ushers. Will collect any waste and safely discard. Bags and tissues will be replaced as necessary, so make sure that those are all there. The clipboard will be placed in the sacristy, and then one of the ushers will take the offering plate down to the office safe and just put it in the safe. And and that's it. The whole plate just goes right into the safe.
Now, how do you put it in the safe? Does the safe have to be unlocked?
Well, I think probably what we'll have to do is I will have it unlocked before the service. And so people, so whoever the usher is doesn't have to worry about that. And I don't have to worry about running down there to do it. Right.
How about locking it?
Don't lock it. Let Terry take care of it in the morning, because I don't want to get it messed up so that we can't get back into it again.
So wait, so the door to the office is open, the safe is open. You're going to leave it in an unlocked safe overnight?
Well, the office will be locked.
Okay.
Overnight. Or I will take care of it. I don't want the usher doing anything with trying to lock.
Got it.
That's
Got it.
And I think that's it. So are there any other questions about this? Do you have any questions, Lauren?
In terms of traffic directing during the
Yes.
Eucharist, will it be as before? Ushers go up the aisle and direct people? I mean, they'll be passing by there, but people will be masked. So
people will be masked. People will be stopped. There'll be 2 stations of hand sanitizer for people to use before they come up. So as you let them out, they can sanitize their hands and then walk up. And again, there are green X's on the floor that show how far apart, so the ushers can see, when to let the next person out. When a green X is free, then you let the next person out, and everybody moves up like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Rob, there was something you and Michelle said I need to add to the announcements.
Well, we were going to solicit the ushers and limbs.
Oh, that's right. That's what we wanted to do. Okay, I got it, because I couldn't. I said I know I was supposed to mention something since we're not having announcements, but I couldn't remember what it is. So help wanted. Okay.
are you expecting that people will put their donation in the plate on the way out?
Either way, it's sitting right on the font. That's
okay.
The font. So to go in, the plate's right there, or coming out. So either way.
Well, some people won't know what to do with it on the way in. And
yeah.
And they'll figure it out for the way out.
Tell them during the service to drop it on the way out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe a reminder close to the end would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But people will get used to that eventually.
Yeah.
It's I think Michelle when we were talking with Michelle yesterday, she's like, it looks really, really complicated, but once we start doing it, it's going to just flow. I think. I don't think there's going to. I mean, the first couple of Sundays are going to be the hardest, when people are trying to figure out what they're supposed to do and where they're supposed to go. I put that in my Friday flash letter last week, and I'll have at least the bare bones this week. I've got some photographs of the church, how it looks, so people can kind of visualize what it looks like coming in, that if they want to look at that, they can click on that document and look at all the photos of the church, just so people know what they're coming into.
So this board that you've got is in the pew, and people can slide it back and forth according to the number of people in any one spot.
Right.
Okay.
Is that like a 2x4?
It's almost like a 2x4. I was trying to do the cheapest thing I could, and I think it's like a maybe 2x2, 6 feet long. and it's just a board, and it's rough on the edges. So Jack and I are wrapping green tape on the ends so people don't get splinters from it. And I might even stain it so it matches the pew a little bit more rather than looking like just, you know, raw pine. But
let's see how it goes first.
let's see how it goes. Yeah, because I was just trying to think, you know, you get 3 people from one family come in, there might be enough room for one person on the aisle to sit, but you can't judge it unless you have a marker, right? We were looking for pool noodles to put pool noodles in there, but they're all like 4 feet. We were thinking they were like 6 feet, but they were only 4 feet. So we couldn't use pool noodles for the markers. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that works. Any other questions?
Yeah, well, we've got 2, unfortunately, our 2 ushers this week aren't with us.
I'm going to send them the link to this, and they're going to watch it later.
And Amy has agreed to serve next week, but yeah. So I need a second person for, right. And we'll worry about that next week, I guess. We'll go and shake the bush.
Ned and Michelle have offered also, but I think next weekend's the one where they are away next weekend. So, yeah. So that, yeah, so we'll have to get a second person for next weekend. And that's why I'm asking for volunteers. I was thinking maybe Tom could do it next weekend with Amy, but I'll have to call him and ask him. How about anything else?
Good.
No? Okay. I'm going to stop my screen share there. Terrific. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming to this tutorial. our first try doing it online. And we appreciate you volunteering. Now you guys are going to be away for a couple of weeks and then be back. Oh, I better stop recording.
Yeah.